Let's talk about measuring height and weight. So for NPH, we'll be measuring weight a few different times. And in module 1, we'll measure this prior to their MMTT at their visit 2. In module 2, we'll be measuring it before each DSMT and at each of their meal pickups. And then in module 3, we'll be measuring their weight daily before their breakfast each day. As far as equipment that's required for you to complete the measurement, you'll need a digital or non-digital scale, one that's calibrated regularly and able to determine weight to a decimal point or a tenth of a kilogram. You'll also want it to maintain a precision of plus or minus a pound or 0.45 kilograms per 150 pounds if possible. Your scale should also have the capacity for at least 200 kilograms or 440 pounds and more if possible. As far as procedures go and how to go about this, it's usually pretty simple, just having a participant stand up and stand still on the scale. You want to make sure your scale is on level and firm ground, in that when no one or nothing is standing on the scale, that the balance of your scale is at 0. You want to have your participant take off their shoes and any bulky clothing. So if they're wearing a big jacket, carrying their purse still, or phone, wallet, keys in their pockets, those kinds of things, anything they want to remove, you'll have them do that before stepping up. When you have them step up, have them stand right in the middle. Tell them stand tall and look straight forward and to be still. For anything like if you're using a balance scale, you can ask them ballpark of their weight to help calibrate if you need that. And then when you get ready to document, you'll want to verify if they're pregnant or not. Make sure you use the right metric, so kilogram as opposed to pounds. If you use pounds, data will be converted automatically to kilograms. Indicate any modifications, so if they weighed above the scale's limit, couldn't stand still on the scale, or if they were pregnant, you'll want to indicate that in your progress notes when you enter that data. As far as height goes, we'll take height one time prior to their liquid MMTT in module 1 at visit 2. We assume height's not going to change, so I think this is the only time that we'll be measuring it. When you measure height, you'll need a stadiometer or something equivalent to that. If your participant is wheelchair bound and unable to stand alone, you won't be measuring their height. The way to kind of go about this, if you have a participant that comes in their wheelchair, you'll let them know that one of the procedures you'll do is measuring that height. Ask them if they're able to stand up for this procedure, and if they tell you no, then you won't do that. If they tell you yes, give them a hand as much as they need, and then indicate if any abnormalities happen during the procedure. For example, they're unable to stand up completely straight or things of that nature. If there's any reason their height might not be accurate as well, you'll also want to note that or not collected. So for example, if their height is taller than your device goes, if they have hair that would impact their height measurement. So for example, they've got braids or dreads or some sort of bun that can't be taken out, anything like that. You'll want to note that and maybe roughly how high that hair or something on top of their head was. And then, for example, if they're unable to stand up completely straight as well. In order to measure their height, you'll have the participant remove their shoes or keep their shoes off if you're doing their height and weight at the same time. Have them stand up straight with their back towards the wall and get as many points of contact as possible out of their heels, buttocks, shoulders, and back of their head. If they're unable to get their heels back up against the wall, you'll have the buttocks back and head if possible, and then make modifications as needed. So you'll want all of those up against the wall if possible. You'll also want their feet flat, heels together, toes pointed outward, their legs straight. If their heels can't come together, try and get their knees together if possible. But if their heels come together and their knees don't, that's also okay. You'll want their arms down at their side, shoulders relaxed, have all those points of contact, and then have them look straight forward. At this point, you'll adjust their head to make sure they're meeting that Frankfurt plane where there's 90 degrees between their eye to ear and vertical. And you'll have them stand tall, take a deep breath once you've got them in position, and then bring that stadiometer headpiece down on top of their head. You'll want it to make connection. So if they've got some voluminous hair, you're going to end up squishing it down. So usually let them know that that's going to happen. and have them take that deep breath and hold it. Take note of what their height is and record their height in centimeters on your data collection form. And again, note if there's anything abnormal, like if their hair was in the way, if they weren't able to stand up straight, if they weren't able to get their feet all the way back, get them as far back as possible, and things like that. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.